what are some things that we know about slope? Rise over run, that's one thing. Okay, so we know rise over run. What else? What? Well, that's slope intercept form, but what in there is the slope? That is slope intercept form, but what is the slope in that equation? Nope. M is the slope. Okay, so we know that. So M is the slope. The variable is the slope. What else do we know? How do you find the slope? What's the definition of slope? How many types of slope are there? Things you're supposed to know. You should have them in your notes. We've worked on this last semester and this semester. What's the equation for the slope? All these things we're supposed to know. You can tell me the 4 different types of slopes. Yes. Okay, so Linda just told us the equation, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's the equation to find the slope. Definitely something we need to know. And I know the types of slopes. 4 different types of slopes. Good. Right. One of them's undefined. That's one of them. Positive slope and a negative slope. One more. 0 is the other one. Good. Undefined, positive, negative, and 0. Okay, so an undefined slope is a line that looks like that. It's a vertical line. What do we know about that vertical line? Do we know anything about its equation? There's always something about any vertical line like that. Something that's the same about every vertical line equation. What? What does the equation start with? It's x equals. It's an x equals number, whatever that number is. So all the x's are the same on every point on that line. Positive slope, like you're walking uphill. Negative slope, like you're walking downhill. What would that 0 slope look like? It's a flat line, a horizontal line. Y'all heard if people are dead, they flatline? Because I know heart rate. I know heartbeat. 0, flatline. So those are 4 types of slope. If that undefined is an x equals, that vertical line, what is this horizontal line? If undefined is an x equals, so y equals. Horizontal lines are always y equals. With all the y's, no matter what point we're looking at, all the y's are the same there. Right? Different ways we can find slope. How to find the slope? Do not pop your gum anymore. How to find the slope. How do you find the slope given 2 points? How do you find the slope given 2 points? What up there would we use to find the slope given 2 points? What up there would we use? equation. We use the equation. We use the slope equation. So if you have a point, say 3, 4, and 10, 15. If you have those 2 points, there's a line between these 2 points. All you need is 2 points to make up a line. Doesn't mean that there's only 2 points. It only needs 2 points to make a line. And you say, okay, the y's are always on top, x's are always on bottom. So if we subtract the y's, put that arrow on top, because that just reminds us that the y's are on top. 15 minus 4, and subtract the x's. 10 minus 3, well, 15 minus 4 is what? 11. 10 minus 3 is 7. That fraction will simplify it, so we leave it over 11 over 7. Does it matter which order I went in? I did 15 minus 4 instead of 4 minus 15. Would it give me the same answer if I did 4 minus 15 and 3 minus 10? Well, 4 minus 15 is negative 11. 3 minus 10 is negative 7, but 2 negatives make a positive. So no, it doesn't matter. As long as you go the same way on both of them. Doesn't matter which point you start with, as long as you are consistent with it. Alright, so how to find the slope given 2 points? We did that. Alright, how do we find the slope? Again, this is continued. How to find the slope? Continued. Given a graph. How do we find the slope given a graph? So if you're given a graph, you've got a picture. And so there's a picture of a line. How do we find that slope? Well, the slope is right over the line, but what do I need on that line? Not find the slope. Why? That doesn't have anything to do with the slope. What do I need to find on that line? No? 2 points. I gotta have points. So if I say, I know that looks like it's a point. I want to use ones that are whole numbers. That one right there, looks like it's a point. I'm just going to use the whole numbers there and there. So that point, I could do the equation if I wanted to. I mean, those are the actual 2 points. I could put them in that equation, but there's still an easier way. You should remember starting at the bottom point and counting up and counting over. So if we went up 1, 2, 3, and we went right 1, 2, that's 3 over 2. That's the slope. That's the easiest kind to do. Feel like it's a straight line. What was that line? What was that line? Where are 2 points? Can we pick out 2 points on that line? We can definitely pick out that point, can't we? And where's another point? Go through this one. Okay. Alright, can I count up and over from there? Yeah, start at the bottom one, count up, 1, 2. Now this time I'm going left 1, so it's negative 1. Remember, if you go up or right, both of these are positive. If you go down or left, those are negative. we have to determine the sign of that number. So negative 2 over 1. Now, is negative, or 2 over negative 1, is that the same as negative 2? Yeah, but we always want slope to be a what? A fraction. So we're just going to leave it negative 2 over 1. Let me ask you this. Is this the same as 2 over negative 1? What's 2 divided by negative 1? Negative 2. What's negative 2 divided by positive 1? Negative 2. Is this the same? What is that? What's 2 divided by 1 with a negative in front of it? Negative 2. They're all negative 2s. You just need to be aware that those are all three the same thing. Alright, if I ask you to write the equation of these lines, so let's call this line A and this line B. So if we wrote the equation in slope-intercept form, so the two things we need are the slope, which we just found, and the y-intercept, which looks to me like those are on the graph. We can find those. What would be the equation for line A? What would be the equation in this form, in slope-intercept form for line A? All you need is the slope and the y-intercept. Well, we got the slope right here. Where does this line cross the y-axis? The y-axis at 2. So what's that equation? Y equals 3 halves x plus 2. Inverse of that on a solid week. What's the equation of line B? This one was A. What's the equation of B? Y equals negative 2 over 1x plus 2. Is that what you said? Slope is negative. You got the negative on the 2 over 1. The b is not negative, because that's a positive 2 right there. The y-intercept doesn't affect what the slope is. If the slope is positive or negative, it doesn't affect the y-intercept. Let's see. All right, what do we do if finding the slope given a table? Like I said yesterday, have no chance of passing the class unless you pass the EOC. You're not helping yourself out any. It's very disrespectful, your attitude. But that's okay. Any ideas how we do that given a table? What did we do? We were given, we did put it in the calculator. How did we do that? Second graph. Calculator. We did put it in the table. Let me get back to the. I want to clear that. Alright, so here's our calculator over here. Where did we put our? These not a bunch of points. These are all points that this line goes through. So where do we put those? No, not second anything. Not second anything. Somebody said it. Stat, and edit. We have to put the points in there. We got to tell the calculator, hey, these are the points that this line goes through. You might have something in there, and we got to clear it out. So remember, you go up to L2 and you hit clear and enter. Do not hit delete. Go over to L1 and hit clear and enter. And then we put those points in there. So our points were on that first list, 0, 1, 2, 3. And you use your arrow over, and those points were -2, -4, -6, -8. You gotta make sure you hit enter at the very end so you get all those points. So you're telling the calculator, okay, I want you to calculate this line for me. So we got our points in there. So Michaela got us to the point where we put those points in. What do we got to do now? No, we're not graphing them. How do we find the equation of that line? Alright, if we use stat to put them in there, we probably want to go back to stat. Do what? Calculate 4. We're going to calculate that linear regression line, number 4. That calc 4. And then we made sure our x's were L1, our y's were L2. And we went down here and hit calculate. Maybe? Oh, yeah. And it gives us our equation. So your equation is y equals what? -2x minus 2. Calculator did all the work for you. Y equals -2x minus 2. So that equation is that. It did the work for us. What's the slope in that equation? What's the slope in that equation? It's the slope-intercept form. You have to know this. What's the slope in that equation? -2 over 1. No, we don't have 1 over it. What's the y-intercept? Where's it across the y-axis? -2. So, given that table, we went to stat, and we went to number 1, edit. We put in our L1 and our L2. And then after that, we went back to stat, and we did calc, calc 4. We did the linear regression. Things that you gotta know. Things that'll make your life easier. Or you did it the hard way. It's different. So, let's see. Stop right there. Anybody have any questions on this part? This is all review. Spent weeks and weeks doing this. Okay. So here's what you're going to do next. Anybody know what a pennant is? Pennant? Ever heard of baseball pennant? These pennants when you go like the car lots and they have the big streamers going from like the light poles to the cars and back and forth. They're usually in the shape of a triangle. Okay? So a pennant. We're going to work on some pennants. So you're going to be working with some people. And you're going to get 8 of these. On there, 2 of them are going to ask you to find the slope given 2 points. 2 of them are going to ask you to find the slope given a table in the y-intercept. 2 of them, one of them I haven't gone over yet, are going to ask you how to do it with an equation. And then 2 of them are going to be from a graph. Now, let me go back. Make sure I don't have it right there. Do this. What if you're given this equation? How do you find the slope of that line? That's in standard form. Certainly not the form we need it to be in. We want it to be in slope-intercept. It's in this form, ax plus by equals c, and we want it to be in this form. We want y to be by itself. If y is by itself, we can look directly at that equation and aha, we know what the slope of y-intercept are. So what do we got? Not the 6. We want y by itself. So what do we have to do to this left side of the equation? We got to bring this ax over to the other side. So the first thing we got to do is either add or subtract that ax. If it's positive, we got to subtract it to the other side. If it's negative, we have to add it to the other side. So if this 3x is positive, when it goes to the other side, what's it going to be? It's negative. So it's going to be 2y equals negative 3x plus 6. So you add or subtract your ax, depending on the sign. And now we've got to get rid of this b, this number in front. So it's being multiplied, so we have to divide everything by b. So in this case, we're dividing by 2. So that gives us y equals negative 3 halves x plus 3. Now, even if that b were negative, we still have to divide by that negative. So now we've got that equation in exactly the form we used here. What's the slope of that equation? What's m? Negative 3 over 2, right there. Negative 3 over 2. What's b? 3. Y-intercept. We're done. We don't have to worry about anything else. So there's really only two things you got to do to the equation. You got to get y by itself. All right, so you'll have two tenets with the graph, two tenets with the equation, where they give you 2 points. You got to put them in the equation. Two tenets where they give you an equation. You've got to put it in y equals, and 2 where they give you a table. So once you do that, you and your group members are going to have 8 things. First, they have to be cut out. You need to listen carefully, because you're going to be given 2 pieces of paper. There's 4 on each one. So each one has to be cut out. After that, all the group member names need to be on the back. Okay? So you need to have all group member names on the back. What are you going to do? On a separate sheet of paper, you're going to do all the work for this. So you'll do all the work. What's going to get turned into me is this paper. Like these all are 17, 18, 19, 20. The numbers at the bottom. 17, 18, 19, 20. Well, everything is numbered on here, 1 to 20. So whichever 8 numbers you're doing, we'll put your answers on here and staple your work here. Okay? And as you can tell, the other ones from what second block did, once they got through, we put them on string. They colored them. We put them on string and then take them up around the wall. Okay? Now, I will tell you, if you get number, and there aren't QR codes down here at the bottom, you can check your answers. And so after you do the work, check your answers most definitely. Number 8, the answer for the y-intercept for the b is incorrect. If you get number 8, now I'll say it again periodically. If you get number 8, when you check the answer, they give you the wrong answer on that. So I'll let you know about that, okay? Any questions? All right, here's what's going to happen. TK, you're going to turn around and go to that group. Okay? You're going to go to that group. Okay? You're going to that group back there. And y'all have 4. Okay? All right, so here's thing. If you give every table one of these, and let's give every table 2. All right, they're right over there. All right, so the first thing you need to do is cut out all by yourself, and I'm gonna individually keep you all like, when you're doing yourself. I'll make that perfectly clear. About 5 of you yesterday acted like fools. I don't need to name names. I don't have to, and I shouldn't have to, and I shouldn't need to have to calm you down. I've allowed you to work together. Use it. Anybody else have questions? To answer your question, I am going to play music, but the minute I have to say, Marcus, get back in your group. Marcus, get back on track. Marcus, quit talking. Or to anybody else, it's up, and everybody in here is getting A's from anybody's up. Yes. You are set up. You're going to have, if you use your phone to text. The only thing you should have out is got paper. Everybody should have paper. Do not do the work on your nose. Because you're going to have to turn it in.